Across the kingdom, there was a man who believed he knew everything. Kings sought his advice. Scholars quoted his words. Students traveled for months just to hear him speak. People called him the wisest man alive. But one quiet morning, he climbed a lonely mountain to meet an old monk. Before sunset, he would discover that wisdom begins where pride ends. The mountain trail twisted through tall pine trees. Morning mist floated between the branches while birds welcomed the rising sun. The famous scholar climbed confidently, carrying an expensive leather satchel filled with books and ancient scrolls. His silk robes were spotless. His posture was proud. He smiled to himself. "There is nothing this monk can teach me," he whispered. "I have only come to see if the stories are true." Hours later, the trees opened to reveal a quiet stone temple overlooking endless mountains. The old monk was sweeping fallen cherry blossom petals, exactly as he did every morning. He looked up, smiled warmly, and bowed. "Welcome, traveler." The scholar nodded. "I have heard many people speak of your wisdom." The monk smiled. "Then please, come and share some tea." Inside the small wooden temple, everything was simple. One table, 2 cushions, clay cups. A small iron kettle rested above glowing coals. The scholar glanced around the room. "So this is where wisdom lives?" he asked with a slight laugh. "I expected something greater." The monk only smiled. "Sometimes, the greatest things need the smallest rooms." The monk gently poured steaming tea into 2 clay cups. Its soft aroma filled the quiet room. Before the monk could speak, the scholar began talking. "I have studied every great philosopher. I have debated kings. I have written books. I have taught thousands of students. I have traveled farther than anyone in search of truth." The monk listened without interruption. He simply nodded, occasionally adding another piece of firewood to the stove. The scholar continued, "I have mastered logic. I understand human nature. I know the secrets of leadership. I know the meaning of discipline. I know." He spoke, and spoke, and spoke. The monk quietly lifted the teapot. Without saying a word, he began pouring tea into the scholar's cup. The tea slowly reached the rim. The scholar continued talking. The tea rose higher. A single drop slipped over the edge. Then another. Soon tea flowed across the wooden table, dripping onto the floor. The scholar finally looked down. His eyes widened. "Master!" he shouted. "The cup is full." The monk continued pouring. Tea spread across the table like a small river. "It will overflow," the scholar cried. Finally, the monk stopped. The room became silent. Only the sound of dripping tea remained. The monk looked gently into the scholar's eyes. "If your cup is already full," he asked softly, "how can it receive more tea?" The scholar frowned. "It cannot." The monk smiled. "Then tell me, if your mind is already full, how can it receive more wisdom?" The scholar lowered his eyes. For the first time in many years, he noticed something. Since arriving, he had not asked a single question. He had only given answers. He had come searching for wisdom, without leaving any room to receive it. The mountain seemed quieter than before. Or perhaps, his own thoughts had finally become quiet enough to hear it. The monk emptied the overflowing cup. He wiped the table with a simple cloth. Then he poured fresh tea. Slowly, carefully, not a single drop spilled. He slid the warm cup toward the scholar with both hands. "This cup," he said, "is ready." The scholar accepted it with both hands. Not as a famous teacher, not as the kingdom's greatest scholar, but as a humble student. He took one slow sip. It was the best tea he had ever tasted. Not because the tea had changed, but because he had. The world has endless teachers, but wisdom enters only the mind that is willing to learn. A full cup cannot receive more tea. A full mind cannot receive more wisdom. The strongest people are not those who know the most. They are the ones who never stop learning. Before you leave, tell us in the comments, what belief have you changed as you've grown older? Someone reading your answer may find the wisdom they need today. If this story brought you a moment of peace, subscribe to Mindful Tales. Every week, a new traveler climbs the mountain. Every week, a new lesson begins. Until next time, keep your heart open, your mind humble, and your cup ready to be filled